Within the gun community, there are a lot of topics that newcomers like to ask and learn about, and old timers like to sit around and debate over. Topics like what makes the best home defense gun? Is 22 long rifle a viable round for self defense? Who gives better hand jobs, AR guys or AK guys? Now, I intend to weigh in on all of those topics and plenty more. But today, what we're going to focus on is a question that I see get asked quite often for new carry guys, and that I hear old carry guys go on and on and on about. And that is capacity. How many rounds do you need to have on you in order to be safe in a self defense situation? Now, I really wish that I could look at the camera right now, give you a number, say 10, give you a bunch of facts why I'm saying 10, and call it a day. Unfortunately, like any of the debatable topics in the gun community, it's just not that simple. But let's break it down. We'll go to the extremes. On one hand, we have Two Shot Bob. Two Shot Bob has an old Derringer that he probably bought at a pawn shop. He takes that Derringer, he sticks it in his pocket every day. Sometimes he remembers a couple extra rounds, sometimes he doesn't. And Two Shot Bob feels like that's good enough. On the other end, you have Tactical Tim. Tactical Tim thinks that you have to have a Glock with a 17 round mag, and you have to have 7 more 17 round mags on your belt, and you have to have one in each pocket, and you have to have 5 30 round mags in each boot, and a 100 round drum shoved up your prison purse. Okay, I'm exaggerating that last part a little bit. 5 30 round mags would be really uncomfortable in your boot, but you get the point. So let's ask, who's right? Or who's more right? Well, statistically speaking, Two Shot Bob's more right. You see, the vast majority of situations in which a handgun is employed for self defense purposes end without a shot ever being fired. That's statistics. Two Shot Bob can pull out his Derringer, point it at the bad guy, and the bad guy will Scooby Doo it the hell out of there and go look for a clean pair of underwear. So, if Two Shot Bob is statistically right, does that make Tactical Tim wrong? Well, not exactly. You see, when you look at statistics, you have to realize that those statistics are based on a wide range of circumstances and a wide range of numbers. I've read before, though I can't sort the source, that most self defense situations in which a gun is actually fired end with between 2 and 4 rounds being shot. So, what does that mean for our conversation? Honestly, not much. Because you take that uncitable source and you combine that with the hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes, and you realize that even your 2 to 4 is probably not enough. You can read them online all day, every day, and I have had people tell me in person of these situations, police officers, retired police officers, where some 130-pound cracked out PCP high little bastard took 27 rounds to the chest and just kept coming. Now, taking that into consideration, is Tactical Tim right? Still no, not to me anyway. Now, I know I'm not giving you a lot of answers here, and that's probably what you're looking for. And I don't really have answers, but what I do have is the way that I go about thinking and considering how much capacity I need in my day to day life. To do that, what I take into consideration is, what can I reasonably expect to run into given my area where I live and what I'm doing that day and things like that. And the second thing is accuracy. Let's start with the first one. I live in a fairly small town. There's not a lot of, life threatening violence that happens here, though once in a while people do go and things get weird. So, odds are, if I am going to face an assailant, it's probably going to be one person who's just whacked out of their mind for some reason or another. And in that case, I don't feel like I need 110 rounds of ammunition on my person. But if I lived in a more urban setting where violence was more common and gangs were more common, I probably would feel a need to carry a lot more ammo on me. Because the chances of running into A, something violent, and B, multiple assailants is escalated in those situations. Even in my day to day life, in my rural setting, I judge what I'm carrying and how much based on what I'm doing, where I'm going, what time of day it is, things like that. If I'm just walking around the corner to the gas station at noon, I feel pretty safe with nothing but my little Smith and Wesson on my hip and my 5 shots of 357 mag. Odds are in that situation, I'm not going to encounter anything going on. Now, if it's getting closer to closing time or nighttime and I'm moving a little further from home into we have one gas station in town that gets robbed like all the time. If I'm going there, I'll pack an extra mag for my Sig or my Beretta, or at the very least my couple of speed loaders for my Smith and Wesson, and just be a little more prepared for the situation I could encounter at that time. Urban areas, you have to do the same thing. So when you consider how much you want to carry, consider your environment. What are the odds? And then take your consideration. Now, again, in my situation, even if I were to encounter a robbery in progress, in my town, it's generally just one lone guy, somebody's, crackhead looking to make some extra money. Usually they don't even have a gun, but now and then. So I would feel safe with just my one mag in my Sig or my Beretta. I think that'd probably be enough to handle a situation. But I consider what I think is enough and then I double it. That's how I feel about it. Now, the second thing you have to consider is accuracy. If you can stand back at 25 yards and put 10 rounds on target every time you pull the trigger, you can probably get away with carrying a few less rounds than somebody who stands at 7 yards and can only hit 3 out of 5. If you're accurate, it takes less shots to get the job done. So you have to evaluate that about yourself. Take a look at your environment, take a look at how well you can shoot, combine those two things, and there you go. You have your answer for what the right capacity is for you. Now, if you've learned anything here today, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to listen to me talk about the other topics and a whole lot more: gun reviews, range videos. I you name it, we're probably going to do it here if we can. So, like I said, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.